Hello everyone, this is Mr. Hebner, and in this video I'm going to show how you do a personal timeline analogy for this assignment. So we're using this website right over here, and I have the link on the actual assignment right here. You click on it and you get to the assignment. They have a whole bunch of information about relative dating. So you can kind of peruse through that. You're going to need to answer a few questions after the timeline involved with relative dating. That's the whole idea of this assignment, is to kind of have a comparison to like our life and the different aspects and kind of periods that we have. We have, we go to elementary school. That's one period of life. And then you go to a different school like Nature Hill Intermediate or Silver Lake, and that's a 4-year period of your life. And then you go to the high school, and that's a 4-year period, and then you go to college or a job. You get married, you have kids, you have these markers in life that signify a change. And life is a little bit different after that as it was before that. And that's just like the fossil record. We have different periods of time where life is a certain way, and then all of a sudden in the rock layer right next to it after it, it's a different type of life. There's different common organisms. There's different environments that we can extrapolate and interpret. And that's what this assignment is about. It's taking our life, looking at the different periods in it, and then relating it to the fossil record and how there's different periods in that. Alright, so just showing you how to do this. Alright, so we have a worksheet with some questions, not too many. But first we have the timeline analogy, and right here are the directions. I also have them on the actual assignment. Just copied and paste them. Here's the directions. In a nutshell, I'll just kind of show you through example, but we have years before present, BP. BP stands for before present. In the real world, we have CE and BCE. CE is Common Era, and BCE is before Common Era, and they changed that sometime in my life. It used to be BC, and AD, BC standing for basically before Christ. It was Latin. They went away from that. We'll stay out of that discussion. But so 0 is this year, and that's 0 years before present. That's this year. All right. Scrolling down, we got these stars. So ignore those stars for now, but no, in the worksheet after this, it's going to ask you some questions about the time period around the stars. So, and that's going to be different for each person because everyone has their own life and is going to be making their own timeline analogy. We got years ago that you began school, so that will be a little bit different depending upon if you're sophomore, junior, or senior. I'll let you guys do the math. I know my daughter's in 5K and she is almost 6, but she was in 4K at the age of 5. So if you are 16 right now, that would mean it would be 11 years before the present, in which case you began school. And then we got the preschooling, because everybody has that. That's before your school days, like when you're age 1, 2, 3. You probably don't even remember what happened then, which is a perfect analogy because what we have is called the Precambrian rock, and it's a lot harder to determine what was going on in the Precambrian era, because that was over 600 million years ago. We can still determine it, but there are missing pieces that we constantly need to piece together and are finding new things. So in the directions, they talk about how you may have had an aunt or someone who passed away when you were 2. You never knew them, but then you come across a picture with your aunt holding you as a baby. And alright, so that's a new piece of information about your life. Your aunt was present in it at some point in time. when you were really young, in that preschooling time period. All right, and then the last one is years ago that you were born. So that would be pretty much your current age right now. All right, so I've got an example of the personal timeline analogy. And I'll do basically a basic overview of my life. All right, this is year 0. And what we'll do is started teaching virtually due to COVID. It's kind of a marker. I'll always remember this year. It's been a bizarre one. Let's go to the beginning. I'm more of a sequential person. Let's see. I'm almost 32 this May 27th. That will be me. All right. 32. Preschooling. So years ago that you began school. I went to 4th grade. That's not 4th grade. 4K. I did that before. Yeah, I think I was 3 when I started because I had a speech impediment where I didn't know how to say consonants. So they sent me to school a year early to learn how to talk. I think that would be 31 BP before present. And one of my first school memories is, I don't know what word it was, but I think it was maybe car. Teacher was telling me to say this word, and they were like saying car, and I thought I said it, but they kept on saying so apparently I must not have been saying it right. So speech training, maybe we'll call that speech training. All right, we had elementary school. I don't know, that was up till 6th grade when I was in elementary school. I don't know how old I was. We'll just say, I don't know, 12. Say 12 in 6th grade. Here, let me pause this and do the math. After thinking about the math, I was 12 in the May of 6th grade. So we'll just say 12. So 32 minus 12 is 20. Holy cow! 6th grade was 20 years ago. All right, so we'll go right here. We'll just say 20 years BP, and right here was in 6th grade and middle school. That's what we call it, 7th and 8th grade. All right. And high school was, is that 18 years ago? Started high school. And then 4 years later, was that 14? So, holy cow, 14. I was graduated class of 2006. So that'd be 14 years ago. All right, graduated high school. Then I went to University of Tampa. And I graduated in 3 years. Did a bunch of summer classes. All right, so that was 11 years ago. Holy cow. Time flies by. All right. Graduated from college, University of Tampa. Got my master's. It was a 13-month program. So that was 10 years ago. Got married. And this July is my 10-year anniversary for marriage. So it's been a good 10 years. Married my beautiful and wonderful wife. All right. And then started teaching in Wisconsin. That was 8 years ago. Started teaching here at Oconomowoc. Started teaching at Oconomowoc. Actually, yeah, during Masters, that's when I started teaching too. First year of teaching while in a Master's program. Good thing I didn't have kids and wasn't married at the time, so I had time to do it. Alright, and then after that, the next big thing would be Bethany being born. She is going to be 6 this June. 32 minus 6 would be 26? 26? 26, but that was only like 6 years ago. Okay. Is that right? 6. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, Bethany was born. And then, well, we can't just say Bethany. We gotta talk about Josiah. He's gonna be 4 in July. Josiah was born. And you guys could do something like, you know, went to state in track, or did this musical, or whatever. It doesn't, you know, you're probably not gonna have kids that were born, but hopefully not. And then we got Emily. Nope, we got 2 years. She turned 2, and we got Emily was born. Emily was born. And then in the present, this August, we got new baby being born. But, you know, we'll leave it at that. So there's my timeline. Look at that timeline. Holy cow, my life flashing before my eyes. All right. So I just want to go over the star thing, just so we're not confused about the stars. Oh, there they are, the stars. So what does that mean? Okay, that's the wrong doc. Let me go to the right doc. Here it is. All right. During what interval of your life does that appear? And write an absolute age for the stars. Okay. So looking at my personal example, we got the stars. What stage of life? Hey, married my beautiful and wonderful wife. That's what I would put for that question, for if I was doing the assignment, which I am. And then the actual absolute date would be 10 years BP would be the actual date. Relative date would be in between when I started teaching in Oconomowoc and got my master's in teaching at the University of Tampa. Somewhere between then is when I got married. You know. But absolute 10 years. So in real life, what you want to do for something as big as a wedding anniversary is you want to keep track of the absolute date and not the relative date. Otherwise, you might upset somebody. So, all right, that is it. So I actually had, you know, I had my reservations about this time, but that was kind of fun. You know, I got to kind of reflect on my life. Hopefully you enjoy it too. And if you have any questions on anything, feel free to contact me and get those questions answered. All right, have a great day, and I will talk to you or see you later.